want to drive it and I'll film you?
No.
What do you mean, no?
No. What, you think it will sell better?
Yeah.
No.
In the 2000 Audi TT 225. So before we set off, let's just have a quick look around the cabin. So there's a central lock and unlock here. There's a ashtray here which doesn't look like it's been used. The cigarette lighter's missing. And then under here we've got some quite decent storage. Fuel filler release, alarm disable and remote boot release. The closest you're going to get to cup holders are these things. I guess in the 90s people weren't as greedy as they are now. And obsessed with Starbucks coffee. More storage down here, a little cubby hole, the nets. I think, do they call those map pockets? I'm not too sure. Climate control works absolutely fine. Screen's not pixelated. It blows nice and cold. The stereo's under here, so it's just an old Blaupunk stereo. I have got the original, but I believe there's a fault with it, which is why it's not fitted, but it will come with the car. There's an aux input for your phone. Heated seat switches. Look at that for a cool design. I think that's really cool. Heated seats work, but I'm not going to turn them on. Headlining I've talked about in the other video. So yeah, so that's basically it. So the dashboard, you can see the idle's nice, temperature's good. There is actually fuel in this car, so you will have some fuel in it to get home. I'm not someone that gives you a car with no miles in it, which I've had that before in the past. The display is pixelated in the middle, which I talked about again on the previous video, but you can read everything on there, so it's not too bad. I don't think it's too bad to fix. Optional sports steering wheel, which I didn't mention on the previous video, but that's quite a nice thing to have. Okay, let's go for a drive. So pulling off, the clutch is nice and smooth, it's not snatchy, doesn't feel spongy. The bite point is midway up, where you'd expect it to be. Gear change is nice and positive, it's a 6-speed. The linkage doesn't feel notchy, it feels nice and smooth. So it's not a difficult car to drive at all, actually. There's plenty of power. So should we take that off? Is that in the way? Just get that off for a minute.
Yeah.
So it really feels solid and planted on the road. It had a lot of suspension work last year. It had new coil springs and some bushes, I think some lower control arms, top mounts on the front struts, and you can really tell it's so planted on the road. Tracks nice and smoothly. Hopefully you can hear it's quiet and rattle free in the cabin. I'm sitting now at 70 in 6th gear, 3,000 revs. Obviously I just sit here all day long. It's amazing how refined it is, actually. I just can't get over, for a 20-year-old car, how crisp the car feels. It just feels fresh. I did say in the other video, but they're such good value. I mean, what else could you get for this sort of money that's going to give you the style, the performance, and the drivability, and everything else? And they're actually, apart from the back seats having no room at all in them, they are actually quite practical. With the back seats down, because of the hatchback, you can get quite a bit of IKEA furniture probably in the back, or whatever else you wanted to carry. So I'll just show you as well the windows. Both the windows work. They go up and down smoothly. There's no problem with that. We'll pull off here. So the turbo system and everything's fine. There's no issue with the boost. The power's very nice and linear. It's got decent torque actually all the way through the rev range. It's amazing actually for a 1.8 engine how how pokey it is. It's, on roads like this, it's really cool to drive. Obviously, I'm not thrashing it at the moment. We'll find a nice bit of straight road. I'll put my foot down and just demonstrate that there's no issues and that the power's nice and linear. There we go. So if I change into third. Over speed bumps as well, be sensible, but it doesn't crash around, it goes over nice and softly. That always happens. The phone, you try and make a video and the phone's bloody beeping at you, people sending messages. I just think these are really cool cars. I love the design of them. They're like they're almost like a concept car that made it to production, which is really rare these days, and I think that as the model generation has changed, they've just lost that design edge that they had before. Hopefully I'll have a nice bit of straight road soon. I can put my foot down. See that the power's there. It's perfectly smooth. It's not dramatic. It's fast, but it's not scary, crashy, dodgy feeling like you'd expect. Maybe you'd expect a 20-year-old performance car to feel. It just feels quick and to the point and safe. So yeah, it's cool. Been filming for now? 8 minutes. Yeah, we're nearly home anyway. So if you just point to the temperature gauge, you can see that there's no issues at all with the temperature or anything like that. I don't know if you can see that on the video. It hasn't got any silly blow-off valves or cold air induction kits or anything fitted. It's all completely standard. It's just what I like about this car. It is high mileage, so it's done nearly 135,000. That's a nice 1930s Art Deco house, isn't it? But it's just so original and tight feeling. It just doesn't. It just feels like it's been looked after. What does it smell like?
Nice.
It smells nice, doesn't it?
Citrusy.
Yeah, so the cabin smells nice as well. It doesn't stink. You can tell it's not been smoked in. And
doesn't smell old.
It doesn't smell old. I can't think of a better car that you could get for the money, to be fair. Not necessarily this Audi TT, but an Audi TT. They're just such good value. And I think they're bound to go up in price as well. We are nearly home, by the way. You don't know where we are, do you?
No.
So the service history as well, just to reiterate, is fully up to date. I think the last belt service and the last Haldex service was about 20,000 miles ago. I think the service intervals on the belts are 40k. So I think it's due if I remember, I think it's due a belt service in about 15 to 20,000 miles. So plenty of time before you've got to worry about that. And then the Howdex again is long intervals, and it's been done fairly recently. So there's nothing that you immediately need to spend money on. All the top, I did show it on the previous video, but all the tyres are decent. The rears are new. The fronts have got about 5 mil of tread. So fronts are probably next on the list, but you'll get a good, well, you get thousands of miles out of them really, depending on how you drive them, before they need replacing. I didn't realise you were filming my face. It's alright though. Did I mention the brakes? No, the brakes are really nice feeling as well. They're not on off like you get with some cars. They're quite progressive feeling, but they work very well, so they don't feel vague. There's no vibration. None of the discs are warped. Plenty of meat on the pads. Where you ran to the other day, wasn't it? So if you do want to come and test drive the car, you're welcome to have a long test drive. There's a lot of mixed roads where I live, so there's dual carriageways with decent road surfaces. There's a lot of windy B roads and that sort of thing, so you'll be able to fully test it and make sure that you're happy with the handling and so on.